Outside of LeBron James going to the Sixers. Wow. That was some breaking news. LeBron James going to the Sixers. But listen, I came here to talk about wide receivers in fantasy football. Obviously, we have to talk about LeBron at some point here. But I'm going to go over the rankings like I've been doing, all right? So we're going to go over the rest of the receivers. Yesterday, we talked about the top 35-ish receivers. Today, we're going to be going over the rest. I'm going to probably go another 25 deep on the receiver position. But we did have some major breaking news. LeBron going to Philly. That's crazy, going to the Sixers. So I'm going to get everything else started up here. How y'all living today, man? How y'all living? Drop it in the comment section how y'all feeling, man. We're going to be going over some receiver action today. What's good? Bron to Philly. We got to talk about that. As much as I want to just get into the receiver talk, we got to talk about Bron to Philly, man. That was insane, man. As a LeBron stan and a Laker fan, it's tough to have my boy gone, but he's going to win a championship in Philly. Like, there's zero question in my mind LeBron is going to win a championship in Philly now. I think most people are probably feeling the same way. You get Joel Embiid, who is one of the best players in basketball when healthy. Jaylen Brown is one of the best players in basketball when healthy. Tyrese Maxey is one of the best guards in basketball when healthy. VJ Edgecombe is one of the best young players in basketball. I'm like, man, and when you really think about it, Jared McCain going to OKC gave them the draft pick. Brad Stevens literally gave the league away. Brad Stevens did. I'm blaming him. How are you going to give JB to Philly in that deal for Paul George and a pick? And then Bron's like, oh, yeah, this looks like the perfect setup. All they need is a power forward. Let me go play. Crazy, bro. Insane. Literally insane. Yo, what's good? Should have been Boston. Well, Boston would have played it, right? They would have had him. Shout out to Bob Myers. He's over there in Philly now. Shout out to him, man. They got Morey the hell up out of there, and Bob Myers already making things happen, man. Embiid could be 50% healthy. That's the thing. So I think LeBron went there because he could take 3 to 5 games off. You know, with LA, once Luka went down and then Reeves went down, it was all LeBron. And I think at 40, he's like, bro, I'm trying to golf, trying to go watch my daughter's game. Like, I'm not trying to be the guy no more. And I think he still wants to play at a high level, compete, but you also now you have to play a different role. With this team, Maxey could take control. Jaylen Brown could take control. Edgecombe could take control. And if Embiid is healthy for 40 games this year, he could take control. So I just think that it gives them a chance to like rest and everything, man. It's going to be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Fantasy's Finest was good. He said, LeBron, am I all about to get cooked by a healthy OKC squad? Nah. OKC can't even be San Antonio. Monstrosity was good. I talked about, thoughts on JT meaning Tatum or meaning Jonathan Taylor? Taylor, I talked about him a couple days ago. I think he's going to be pretty much what he was last year. Streaky game to game, but puts it all together this year. Still top 5 running back. Scroll up 9, scrolling up. Football better than basketball any day. What's good, fantasy dude? Bron's knowledge on the court and vision is the best. Yeah. I don't know. When I think about what LeBron's going to bring to this team as a veteran, this is, if we're being dead ass, Philly has been a losing franchise. I've always called Philly, like, no matter who's been in the door, it felt like Doc Rivers is in there, a losing franchise. You got Harden in there, career loser. Embiid has been kind of a career loser, never won a championship. You had like these career losers. And Paul George has been a career loser, like playoff dropper, guys that just don't know how to win. And you bring in Jaylen Brown now, championship expertise. You bring in LeBron now, championship expertise. This is a whole different 76ers team now. And, you know, you talk about LeBron James and cementing legacy. You go to another iconic franchise. You think about like Dr. J. Some of the greats have played for this Philadelphia 76ers team. You start to think about it now. Charles Barkley, like, this is just another one of those spots right now. I think I think Braun is going to cement his legacy even further. 2 championships. He's on a 2-year deal. But listen, I'd love to talk LeBron. I'll talk a little bit more, but everybody came here for fantasy football. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man, getting here early. You know what I'm saying? We talked about receivers yesterday. If you missed the full live, either on TikTok or on YouTube, head to the YouTube channel, Jayhen Fantasy. I went over all the players yesterday in much greater detail. I'm going to be posting them as individual videos, but just check the live tab. Check the live tab. All right? Check the live tab. We're going to go into now 35 range. So if you got any questions on the ones beforehand, go watch the video. You doing best ball? Yes, I've been doing plenty of best ball drafts. Oh, we kind of have breaking news real quick before I go into the receiver rankings. Noti Gang in the building. Noti Gang in the building. Kind of breaking news. Did you guys see it? Did y'all see it? Besides, obviously besides Braun, breaking news. Patrick Mahomes fully cleared for training camp. So this isn't like wait to see if he's ready week 1. We brought Justin Fields in here. Patrick Mahomes is ready. So if you have your drafts at all right now, Patrick Mahomes needs to be on your radar. I ranked him, let's see, on the quarterback rankings, where did I rank him? I probably have him too low. I ranked him down here, but I think we talked about it. He was ranked 14. I think I ranked him down here. Patrick Mahomes immediately goes back up here. I'm probably going to do this actually. Immediately, okay? You don't need to take him there. He will fall to you, especially in best ball. But if I had to guess where I think over the next week or so, Patrick Mahomes starts to go in drafts, it will be this range right here. Above Herbert, above Dak, above Caleb. If we knew he was going to be ready, I think I said this on the podcast. If we knew he's going to be ready for week 1, we'd instantly move him up. And this might even be low. This might even be low. All right? So Pat Mahomes, listen. Patrick Mahomes, make sure to move him up in your drafts, all right? Make sure to move him up. Okay? You should pin your biggest predictions on your page so newcomers can see you're legit. I'm going to be honest. I don't care if newcomers think I'm legit or not. I don't feel like I'm at a spot where I need to prove I'm legit. If they want to follow, they can follow. If they like my advice, they like my advice. I know I'm legit. The people who follow know I'm legit. And even if you watch 2 or 3 videos of me, even if I miss, sometimes the advice, you can tell I know I'm legit. So if you want to win your league, hopefully my content, my ability to explain myself is enough. And if it's not, then find somebody else who helps you win your league. I can't really do anything about that. Or if you just want to have somebody to laugh at, wow, I got something on my face, bro. Yeah, I don't really need anybody to prove I'm legit. The proof is in the pudding. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate y'all for showing love, though. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I wish, I wish things would grow faster, like as a content creator. And that's just as a human. You know what I'm saying? You want things to grow faster and you want them to, you want to explode and blow up. You want to go and be viral. And, sometimes you got to do gimmicky shit in this day and age to go viral, get your respect. But the one thing I'll say is in this industry, when people talk to me, they know I'm legit. You can ask other analysts out there. And over the course of time, even if you've had a difference of opinion, there's probably 25% of people that are in here at some point have listened to one of my videos and been like, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. That's probably been, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. And then over time, have been like, maybe I'll listen to this dude. So at the end of the day, I'm just trying to help y'all win your leagues. I think I have a very good clean take on what it takes to win in fantasy and how to win your fantasy championship. So it's all good. If I'm legit, I'm legit with the people who fuck with me. That's really all it needs to be. I don't need to be legit with anybody else. You feel me? So that's where I'm at. We got to gatekeep Unk. This dude has won me my 2 championships. My man always helps me with my teams. Yeah, man. I got y'all. You're legit. Appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all showing love. I just, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to address that though. Quiet down, Unk. My bad. But hey, I'm gonna be transparent. You feel me? I'm gonna help y'all out. I'm gonna help as many people that want to receive the help out. All right. So we left off yesterday talking about the deep threats in Christian Watson and Alec Pierce. And if you missed the video, you missed the rankings, you want me to scroll up, go to YouTube, sub to the YouTube. They're on the live tab, all right? They're on the live tab. Up here in this range, right? So we went through this range. This was kind of like these guys could all be top 12-ish type receivers. That's where we left off, right? You had some old faces in there, some young upside, some guys that disappointed last year. I feel like we had a good mixture of guys that could potentially be a wide receiver one. In this group down here, these are the locked-in wide receiver twos, in my opinion. There's not really room for these guys to jump up into wide receiver one range unless something crazy happens, right? Like in case it's just a breakout that we don't expect, in case another player gets hurt, which could happen, right? That happens in fantasy. So for me, this group right here, I don't expect these guys to ever become wide receiver one. So if I was drafting 3 receivers, I would want them to be in this first bunch. Like if I had to start 3 receivers, I would want them to be in this first bunch. Courtland Sutton is at the top of this tier along with Chris Godwin. I got a couple names that you guys are probably going to be pissed off with me about. I can already tell, man. I can already tell, bro. I think Xavier Worthy is going to be way closer to like up here. Way closer to up here. And let me add this tier so I don't go crazy on myself real quick. Bear with me for a second. Remember we did this yesterday where I had to reorganize some things. Why won't this move, bro? This tab. Okay. Let's try it again. Oh, okay. Let's try that. There we go. There we go. I'm going to take some guys out of here and I'll move some guys in, all right? I know there's a lot of Mekhi Lemon fans in here that I'm pissing off, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'll do that later. Hold on. I'll do that later. Bring us back down here. I know there's a couple Mekhi Lemon fans I'm going to piss off in here. Is there anybody else who I think is in this tier? Okay, we're good. We're good. Anybody else that's not in this tier? Anybody else not in this tier? Some industry plants here. If y'all can see what I'm talking about, some industry plants in here. We'll get to them in a minute. All right, I think this looks good enough for rankings. All right, bet. We'll start off here. So I think at the top of this list, right, where I see Courtland Sutton, I see Chris Godwin. These two are established names. I think they just have a little bit of risk, okay? Like Chris Godwin, when he's on, we know it can be top 12-ish type receiver. The problem I see with Chris Godwin is that he's dealt with injury. You have a Emeka Egbuka in there. You draft Ted Hurst. Jalen McMillan's back. It becomes kind of crowded. It's the same thing I talked about with the Emeka Egbuka. And I kind of teared him down a little bit. Baker will spread the ball out. Now, if Chris Godwin is the guy and they continue to funnel him slot targets, he's going to continue to bump up. Like he's going to outplay this spot and he's going to be excellent like he's always been for years. The problem I have with him is that he's failed to stay healthy. Even when we wanted him to be, he's failed to stay healthy. But then B, what's his role now in this new offense? This isn't the same offense that Tampa's had over the years. So we've seen him look the part at times. He's been kind of, earlier in his career, about 5 catches, 50 yards, 6 catches, 60 yards. That was kind of the receiver he was. And then he had that spike year where he was like the wide receiver 2 overall before I want to say he tore his ACL that year. It's tough to rank Chris Godwin because he's a reliable name and a player that we trust. But I also think Chris Godwin does not deserve to be in this tier. I like Godwin, but that's where he belongs. And I think Courtland Sutton has a little bit of the same outside of the injuries. We know Courtland Sutton is going to catch touchdowns. That's what he does, even with Jalen Waddle being brought in. We understand Courtland Sutton, who he is. He's 1,000 yards, 8 to 10 touchdowns. We talked about this, right? Even last year. What I'm unsure of is how big of an impact that Jalen Waddle will have within this offense target-wise. because we've seen Cortland Sutton as the one. I don't know that he carries the upside on a week-to-week basis to be that 12, 15 guy that he's been over the years when he's been on. I think the touchdowns will be there. I'm concerned about the yardage this year and the volume reception-wise. And so I don't really think he has the same ceiling. I think if Waddle wasn't there, obviously, we're talking about Cortland Sutton up in this range. With Waddle there now, I still think the touchdowns are there, but you also have Pat Bryant, who the team took in the third round last year, probably taking on an expanded role. Troy Franklin is there. Evan Ingram is probably going to take on an expanded role, and we know how heavily Sean Payton loves to run to utilize the ground game. So for me, I think it's going to be some blow-up games for Sutton where he has 2 touchdowns, 80 yards, 100 yards, but we're going to have some duds with Cortland Sutton. 3 catches for 50 yards, 4 catches for 60 yards. I think we got to take the good with the bad when it comes to Cortland Sutton, and that's kind of the risk with these two. This tier right here from 37 to 47. I think you can play this however you want, but I'm going to explain why I have these rankings, and I'll probably, toy along with it as we go. All right. The reason why I have Xavier Worthy up here, he was dealing with the shoulder injury last year, and we've seen Xavier Worthy look the part. They've talked both off seasons. The Chiefs have talked about how he looks better and looks stronger as a player. And with Patrick Mahomes healthy and especially now ready for training camp, I can see a world where Xavier Worthy is taking on an expanded role. Rashee Rice dealing with the knee injury, going to jail this summer. I don't know if he's going to be and somebody can please help me out with this because I haven't found this info. I don't know if he's going to be at training camp, ready to go. I know he was still rehabbing the knee. Xavier Worthy is going to be there. Travis Kelce, another year older. Tyquan Thornton is there now, but that's really it. This team is who it is. And had it not been for a week 1 shoulder injury with Xavier Worthy, I think we would have seen an expanded role for him last year. And he's going outside of the top 40 receivers right now. He's going outside the top 40. I think he's closer to 1,000 yards than he is to being a wide receiver 4 in fantasy. To me, and you get such a good value on him, more than likely you've already drafted 3 receivers at this position. If he hits, you have a tradable piece in Worthy, or now you can move one of your other guys in your lineup. You also get the explosive with Worthy if they somehow figure this thing out. Remember, who's in control now of this Kansas City offense? Eric Bieniemy. He is back. And guess who he used so much in the offense when they were winning championships? Tyreek Hill. Yes. I'm not saying that Xavier Worthy is going to be Tyreek Hill in this offense. I'm not saying that. But damn it, he could be close. And to me, I would love to just have a piece of this explosiveness if it returns to this offense and Mahomes is on a revenge tour. I would love to have a piece of this offense. Xavier Worthy could be a bust, could be a 700-yard guy with 4 touchdowns. I don't think that would shock anybody. But it also would not be shocking if Rashee Rice somehow gets hurt. He's been hurt continuously throughout his career, knee, concussion, etc. Tyquan Thornton isn't really a threat. Kelsey's on his last leg. Would it be shocking to see Xavier Worthy as the wide receiver 1 for this team? Would it be that shocking? I don't think so. Would it be shocking to see him with 1,000 to 1,200 yards in a full season? I don't think so. Xavier Worthy, a very intriguing pick in a high-powered offense. You typically don't get this kind of player this late with that kind of upside. It's mainly because he's failed us the last 2 years. All right? Xavier Worthy, like him here. Big wild card for me, Jordan Tyson. The talent is there. Team took him in the first round. Obviously going to be a phenomenal player. I'm failing to see the excitement in Jordan Tyson that a lot of people see. I get that he's talented. And my son's name's Tyson. You know what I'm saying? So I got a son named Tyson. I got a son named Xavier. There's no AJ here, but I got a son named AJ too. TMI. But Jordan Tyson, for me, is a very tough player because I feel like he has upside and he's such a wild card. Dealing with the injury coming in, good to go now. Coming out of ASU, I think this can be a talented player. And the reason why I have him down here is, obviously the other experts have him here as well. There's upside, but then There's also the fact that like maybe he's just a 700-yard guy coming in. I haven't taken too much from him because I feel like he goes at a pretty good spot. This is also where I like to start taking the tight ends because I feel like this is not necessarily a tier break, but these I trust these guys for upside. This is a different type of upside, that rookie upside. That's a different type of upside. While he could be great and he could be one of the rookies that shines, we've seen it with over the years, Lavin Conkey, Puka Nacua, Malik Neighbors, the rookies come in and shine. There's always 2 to 3 rookies that just come in and play really well. And Jordan Tyson could be that. He's also what? Contested catch guy, right? Wasn't a huge separator at the other level. So he's a playmaker, which you love to see. But now you have Tyler Shook in there, second-year quarterback, who already was funneling stuff to Olave, but that was really it. There wasn't really a secondary receiver that he was getting the ball to last year. He'll use his legs at times. You go and get Travis Etienne in the ground game to help out. I have some concerns that he sees like a top 12-ish type level, but could he be a top 24 receiver? I can see that. I just think it's a little bit more of a gamble. These are all gambles. That's why they're all in this tier. If you're here for the first time too, right? We do tier-based drafting on this page. Just because I have somebody ranked higher, lower, it doesn't mean that I genuinely think like Xavier Worthy is going to be 1,000 points better than Parker Washington. This is just the order that I prefer them. They all have similar upside, floor, risk baked in. Okay? So when you're watching this, if you're like, how dare you, Justin? How dare you have Parker Washington 8 spots lower than Xavier Worthy? If they both finished as wide receiver 3s, it wouldn't surprise me. All right? Tier-based drafting. I don't want to see y'all tiers. Tier-based drafting is the way to go. And if you like somebody in this tier, it doesn't upset me. Okay? I'm giving you the reasons why. If you feel like somebody is similar in that tier, or maybe you can end up getting 2 players in that tier at a lower level, feel free to do that. But I just want to put that out there. All right? Tier-based. Jahan does tier-based drafting. All very similar players. Worthy and Addison are not that far off to me. They're not. They are not that far off, okay? Even though it's 10 places. Michael Pittman, Quentin Johnston, Ricky Pearsall, Michael Wilson. All 3 of these players are number 2s in good offenses. Michael Pittman going to be number 2 alongside DK Metcalf. Quentin Johnston, number 1 or number 2 alongside Ladd McConkey. Ricky Pearsall, number 2 alongside Mike Evans. Michael Wilson, number 2 alongside Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride, right? These 4 receivers all possess like startable components to them. They're also players I don't want to start. Does that make sense? Like Michael Pittman, I would love if he was my flex or maybe a backup option during bye weeks. Quentin Johnston, I know he has those weeks where he's going to score 100 and get a TD. He's also going to have some dud weeks, especially in this new offense. You got Ricky Pearsall. You got Mike Evans, Christian McCaffrey-based offense with George Kittle. I'm not too sure Ricky Pearsall is going to take that next level like we all hoped when he was drafted in the first round. And then Michael Wilson, one of the best receivers in the second half of fantasy football last year, real football as well. Was that just a mirage because Marvin Harrison was hurt? When they played together, Marv was still getting more looks, even though Michael Wilson was still producing with Brissett. I think this is a very interesting group because I do think that at some point, 2 out of these 4 are going to be startable. I agree. I could say like 2 of these 4 are going to be startable wide receiver 3s. It's just banking on which ones. Pittman could be the wide receiver 1 there. Aaron Rodgers may like him a little bit more than he does DK Metcalf. He may just kind of work his way in if coverage is draped towards DK Metcalf. I think things are going to open up for DK. Same thing here. If Ladd has the season he has, that's going to open up things downfield for Quentin Johnston. Over the course of the year, we might be talking about high-end wide receiver 3 numbers. Ricky Pearsall, if Mike Evans opens things up, etc. Marvin, Trey McBride open things up, and Michael Wilson looks like he did last year. There's a potential for top 20-ish to 24-ish receiver. I just have him a little bit lower. Jaden Reed, when he's been healthy, has been a top 24-ish type receiver on a per-game basis. We've seen it. I have some concerns, though, with him if that was, he was dealing with injury last year. I have some concerns if that's going to change now that Christian Watson is fully available and healthy. He is the number 1 in that offense. But Jaden Reed does have a role. They'll use him in the ground game on reverses. He has big play written all over him. So I do kind of like Jaden Reed as an upside flex. I don't like him as a starting wide receiver 3. Same thing goes for these other slot guys that have somehow somehow climb the rankings. I might have to do this, bro. For me personally, I might have to do this. Why? What are we doing with Parker Washington? Somebody explain this, please. What the hell are we doing with Parker Washington? Parker Washington is a 6th round pick who happened to have a good portion of the season last year. And somehow he's being drafted in the top 40 receivers. Brian Thomas, I get it. He had a terrible season last year. I understand that. Travis Hunter also got hurt last year. He didn't play. He was starting to get a bigger role. He stopped playing, and after what was it, 6 to 8 games, somewhere in that range, Travis Hunter was out. Jacoby Myers is still on this team. He was a trade asset, had to learn a brand new offense, get integrated, had to build chemistry with Trevor Lawrence. And there's a rumor that Parker Washington is going to lead the team in targets by one of the beat writers, and everybody decides he's a top 75 player in fantasy football. Parker Washington is going to crater somebody's team who drafts him as their wide receiver too. It's going to happen. People are going to hate Parker Washington when they draft him with a top set. Imagine taking Parker Washington in the 6th round thinking, oh man, he's going to be a league winner. What chance does he have to have 150 targets? What chance does he have to probably break 100 targets? Who looks at Parker Washington and says, this is the guy I want starting every single week for me? I hope you guys don't. I hope you don't. You don't get the touchdown upside that you get with Brian Thomas. You don't get the big playability that you get with half of these guys in this list right here. They're threats for 1,000 yards. They're threats for 10 touchdowns. Parker Washington is a threat for 75 catches, maybe 800 yards, maybe 5 touchdowns. I don't understand this one. Somebody please help me. If it has to do with analytics, I swear I'm going to smack somebody through the damn camera. I want to hear one reason why we're believing in Parker Washington. Just one. Outside of some beat writer said, oh, he's going to lead the league in targets. He's going to lead the team in targets. Outside of he's going to lead the team in targets. Give me one reason why Parker Washington should be a top 35 receiver. Somebody, please. Whew. Y'all got me. Parker Washington, bro. If I have my way, bro, should I do that? Should I really piss everybody off? Should I really piss everybody off? Should I really piss everybody off, bro? Same thing goes for Mekhi Lemon. I think he'll be utilized in this offense, and I'm probably too low on Mekhi Lemon. This is one I can admit to. I'm probably too low on Mekhi Lemon. It's just these other receivers to me offer a little bit more upside. Maybe Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson to me is like the one that's sticking out. I probably should go like this. Michael Wilson's the one that's kind of sticking out to me, is like I'm not really feeling him as much. But like Mekhi Lemon to me, maybe I'm being a little too harsh on him if he's playing the slot. I don't trust Jalen Hurts fully to get him the football, right? You're going to also draft Eli Stowers in the 2nd round. So I feel like the tight end action is going to be there. Getting back to like Saquon Barkley being the guy, spreading the thing out amongst the tight ends. You got Devontae Smith. I think we get back to the tush push with Jalen Hurts even more. I am not sure I fully believe in Mekhi Lemon being like 1,000-yard receiver. And that's why I struggle with Mekhi Lemon, because I do think that there's some upside I'm probably missing. The team obviously believes in him, drafted him 1st round. Like, I get it. But maybe there's something I'm missing, because I don't see it in this Philly offense that's already struggled to kind of hold the value of both Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown at the same time. There's been a little bit of a struggle with that. We've seen A.J. Brown get the work. Then we've seen like Devontae Smith, when A.J. Brown is nicked up, get the work. It's never been where like Jalen Hurts has carried both receivers. So if the ceiling is really low for Lemon, why are we taking him so high? Unless Devontae Smith gets hurt, what's the real breakout for Mekhi Lemon? Maybe he hits like 750. Maybe he hits like 4 to 6 touchdowns. Maybe he hits like 70 to 75 catches. Unless he's just a true slot guy and they're force feeding it to him, which this offense has really never been built around. New offensive coordinator in play. But like, maybe. I don't see it with Mekhi Lemon. I think he's a scary pick for me as well, and that's why I'm down on him. What do you guys think about this range right here? This tier 6. Do I got it right? Let's see. I got a few questions came in on YouTube. TikTok, I see y'all too, man. I'm going to get to you guys in just a second. Surprise Neighbors wasn't put on PUP list. Yeah, me too. I thought he was. I think they didn't they put Neighbors on PUP list? Jahan, will you travel anymore this year? It's good if you do. We just need you during the season. No, I'm not traveling this year. At least I don't plan on it. Think you're right on AJB, 9th pick, 10 man. I'm thinking of going CD Jettas with either AJB. I know I'm right on AJ Brown. He's going to have a hell of a year. Name another fantasy football person who predicted the perfect outcome for players. Nobody's perfect. Take what Jahan gives you and use what you want from it. I've been with Jahan 4 years now. Never did wrong by me. That's the goal, brothers. We're trying to win here, man. Use the information, and you can either fade it or use it. Is there a way to use your Fantasy Pros player tiers and use them for the mock drafts? I think you can. Not yet. I haven't posted them. When I publish them, I think you can. Got my keeper league ready to restart. Right now I'm looking at May and the 11th. Good. I like May and the 11th. I like May and the 11th more than I like Burning the 10th. Is there an app you're doing your rankings on bids? I see you. I'm doing this on Fantasy Pros expert site. This is Fantasy Pros expert site right now. So this is behind the scenes a little bit. I think it's right. You guys like that? You guys like that tier 6? Who you taking at the 107 and the 10 man? Depends on who's available. Do you have to pay for that? Me? No. They asked me to be on here. I don't pay for it. They give me access. You have to have some kind of presence in the like be an analyst. Lemon is a 60, 805 type ceiling. Exactly, JD. Exactly. Parker Washington got you heated. I dig it a little. Man, I'm just like, I don't know how to feel about, maybe I'm just tripping. Sometimes there's times where I'm just tripping on player value. Maybe this is one of those times. I just am not. Parker Washington? Hell no. Why so long? Lemon Hurts has shown he can support 2 wide receivers. Okay. Pop quiz for the audience. Pop quiz. When's the last season that both Philly receivers were top 12 or top 20? Top 20. So he's shown he can support 2 receivers. It's a different offense. But even still, when's the last time both A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith were both top 20? Tell me. One of these veteran receivers that are free agents have to be signing a 1-year deal with the Chiefs, maybe like Diggs. I don't think so. The Chiefs have good receivers already. 2024? What did they finish? In 2024, what did they finish? Rice was clear to participate in practice. Okay, bet. You play Dynasty, my man? Absolutely play Dynasty. Drop your Dynasty questions in the chat. Jaden Reed going to get back to the gadget style player. I missed that out of Jaden. Jaden Reed was really good in that gadget role. Philly receivers are amazing once every 3 games. That's what I'm saying. Somebody pull up the actual numbers, not guessing, because I don't even know if it was 2024 that they were both top 20. Happy Friday, Garland. Jalen Waddle in round 3. No, that's too high. Way too high. Not in round 3. Try round 6. They also have Wicks and Hollywood Brown. Yeah, and they have Wicks and Hollywood Brown. Like, I just don't know. I don't know that I believe Jalen Hurts can carry both Lemon and Devontae Smith. I think for sure Devontae Smith. I don't know about Lemon. 2022. Is that correct? The last time they were both top 20? 2022? When you drop your rankings? Soon. You shouldn't be drafted in July anyway. We haven't got to training camp yet. Once training camp gets going, I'll start dropping rankings. A.J. Brown was wide receiver 5. Devontae Smith was wide receiver 9. So it's been 4 years. And that was under whose offense? Was that Kellen Moore? That was Kellen Moore's offense, right? Pass happy offense. I want to say that was Kellen Moore's offense, if I'm not mistaken. Right? That was under Kellen Moore. I'm just saying. Do you like Bo Nix this year? Yes, at the value I do. I like Bo Nix at the value. Thoughts on Swift? I think Swift is a great value this year. I think that He's a great RB2 to have, and you get him at a really good price right now. A lot of people are fading him. A lot of people like Manunga. AJ Brown had almost 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns. Devontae Smith with almost 1,200 yards and 7 TDs. So, and he was wide receiver 9. And that was before this passing crater, the passing yard crater that we've been seeing lately. Which Jags receiver you taking? Brian Thomas all day. How do we think Njoku will play this year? I think he'll be involved as a secondary tight end. I'm not rushing to pick him up. I'm not like rushing to draft him. I think he'll be out on free agents. You can pick him up after week 1. Puka that high up with potential legal problems? Yes. Absolutely Puka is. Absolutely is. If he has no legal issues, where would you draft him? You have to assume until we know there's legal problems or a suspension looming, you have to draft him that high. Someone offered me Cortland Sutton and Shakir for Lemon. I'd rather have Cortland Sutton, but it's close. You probably could do better with the name Lemon. Thoughts on Pitts this year? He's going way too low. I did 12 best ball drafts. Am I sick? I've done over 100 already. Am I sick? Am I sick? You think Waddle's a waste of a pick or the upside is high enough to draft? I have Waddle up here. Wide receiver 20. So I think you could trust the upside. And I think I have Waddle kind of high compared to a lot of people. I don't know. I think I have Waddle kind of high. How long have you been playing fantasy? Over 25 years. So I've been playing since 99. What is that? I'm playing 27 years. Damn. I've been playing fantasy for 27 years. Winning a lot too. There's videos on my page if you want to go through, like if you ever go through like the top videos on my page, there's like, I got videos like when people are like, why should I trust you for advice? And it's just, there's a video that I have that's like literally just championships. It shows it. I don't want to recreate that video because I don't really need to, but like I've been winning. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull it up. If you go to my page and you go to most like popular videos, it is when they say I need credibility. So you just go down, you can scroll and watch it. You scroll down about 4 or 5 videos and you'll see like the championships. I don't know if you can see that video right there. When they say I need credibility, it's next to the one with Max's face on it. Shout out to Fantasy Football AZ. We had a beef back in the day, but it's right there. It's called When They Say I Need Championships for Credibility. You'll be able to see. I'm Yahoo Diamond easily. Like I don't need, like I said, I don't know. I'm done talking about it. But yes, I've been playing for a while, 27 years, man. Shit. And that's I've been playing like multiple leagues, probably about 3 to 4 leagues a year over the last, from like 2009, 2010, about 3 to 4 years a league, 3 to 4 leagues a year, sometimes like 2 or 3. I never played more than like 4 leagues in a year until I did the follower leagues. And then there were some years I only played 1 league. Can I see your RB rankings? There are videos on YouTube. I'll put it in the comment section. Just check the live tab. YouTube's J-Hand Fantasy. Make sure you sub while you're there. Matt, what's good? Matt Nash, what's good, bro? What's good? All right, you guys ready for me to move on? We're moving on to more rankings, or you guys got more questions? I enjoy Superflex. You have rankings for that? I did quarterbacks yesterday, or 2 days ago. You have Garrett Wilson awfully high. I just talked about it yesterday. Like I said, running backs and receivers and quarterbacks are up, on the live tab on J-Hand Fantasy. So you can go back and rewatch my reasoning for Garrett Wilson. I don't think Garrett Wilson's high at all. Where do you think he should be? And why? Last one, Walker for ETN in a 2029 first full PPR. What side you taking? Probably just keeping Kenneth Walker. The first is cool. The only thing is with the first, it depends on like when that is. The only reason I kind of like the first is because you can always flip a first into more. I don't think Walker and ETN are like that far off. I would just rather have Walker and win my championship this year than a pick 3 years from now. But if you're good at trading and you can flip that 2029 first into something more, then do it. Walker and ETN are not that far off. I'm sorry, they're not. Thoughts on Ibuka? I talked about him yesterday. I think Ibuka is good in a crowded situation. Jerry Jeudy could be so good on any other team. I think he's going to be good on the Browns. I think he's way too low down here. Thoughts on Steelers running back room? Jaylen Warren to start. And I see Rico Dell taking over in Mike McCarthy's offense. Don't call me grandfather, bro. You looking at my grades? Matt Nash called me grandfather J-Hand, man. It's catching up to me quick, bro. Quick. It's catching up to me quick, man. Could you scroll up real quick? The full list is on here. There you go, bro. Asking you shall receive. There you go. Full list so far. All right. Parker tier 7, Unc. You probably right. Hey, Chief, you probably right, bro. I'm just trying not to listen. Sometimes when I do I don't want it to be so much of a shock value to everybody. I'm like, maybe I'm missing something. So I'm kind of playing it safe when it comes to Parker Washington and not putting him tier 7. I'm playing it safe because I really want to put him lower. I do. This tier is an ugly ass tier, bro. This is an ugly ass tier. Because I feel like Jerry Jeudy probably these are just my raw thoughts right now. I think Jerry Jeudy should be like closer to like Khalil Shakir range. I think Jawan Jennings should be closer up here. Where is he at, bro? Why is Jalen Naylor down here? Jalen Naylor belongs like up here. Rashad Bateman, why is he down here? He belongs like up here with Jerry Jeudy, right? Why the fuck? Like, why is the wide receiver 2 or 3 Omar Cooper above Jerry Jeudy and Bateman? I'll never know. Some of these don't make sense, man. To go through this right here, to go through these guys is going to be a lot, man. And most of these won't be draft picks in redraft, right? We're probably talking about a cutoff of like 60 receivers. And you're going to have a lot of dart throws when it comes to like Bateman. Calvin Ridley's down here. I don't know why. A guy like Ryan Flournoy offers some upside. Trey Harris due for a bounce back. I'm going to try to keep it like to top 60 though. Because you guys know I can go for a while. And half these dudes we're not going to be talking about as draft picks. Some guys, just so you guys know, some guys I like down in this range. For upside. I like Tyquan Thornton in your super deep leagues. I think Keon Coleman is due for something. I'm not sure. He's a very risky pick. Debo the minute he signs with the team, is going to go higher. Debo needs to be up higher. I'm very curious about Ted Hurst and how he's deployed. Stephon Diggs is going to go wherever he goes, he's going to go higher the minute he signs. Malik Washington is just like Jalen Naylor to me. I'm like, somebody has to be the one for that offense. Why is the one for even if it's 800 yards, right? Even if it's not 1,000 yards, why is Malik Washington going ahead of like Omar Cooper? The number one receiver. Who else? Name 3 receivers on the Dolphins right now. Go. Feel free. Run it up with all the talent that's on Miami right now. You have Greg Dulcich, a failed tight end, was cut last year in the middle of the year. He's the starting tight end for Miami. You have Jalen Tolbert, the wide receiver 3, 4, 5 on Dallas, whatever he was. He's the number 2 probably right now on his team. You have Tutu Atwell, who couldn't crack fucking 750 yards on the Rams ever. I don't know if he cracked that the entire career. I don't know if he's cracked 2,000 yards. No hate to Tutu Atwell. It just is what it is. He's the wide receiver 3 right now. You draft Chris Bell, who is injured right now in the second round. He's probably not going to see the field for a while. So you got Devon Achane. You have a bunch of nobodies, and we got Malik Washington, who's really not that good, but he's the number 1. Why is he going outside of the top 70? You think Malik Willis is going to throw for 1,200 yards? Is he going to throw for 1,200 yards in 17 games? Like, is that how bad we think Malik Willis is? Then why is he going as like QB 20? I mean, Malik Wilson's got to throw for 2,500 to 3,000 yards. And even if Malik Washington is like 800 yards and 4 to 5 touchdowns, that's not wide receiver 70. That's not. It's not wide receiver 70. So if he's the one there, somebody's got to be the one. If it's Malik Washington, Jalen Tolbert, I know it's not going to be Tutu Atwell. Maybe it's Chris Bell. Who knows? But there's no reason why the number one receiver for any team should be outside of the top 70 receivers. Somebody's got to be the one there. And my bet would be Malik Washington. All right. Also down here, Calvin Ridley is an intriguing play because I still think he's the 2, even though the team got Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale's going to be the short guy. I think Calvin Ridley's going to have a better year than we're all expecting. He got hurt last year too. I'm not saying I think he's going to be great, but I think he's like closer to up here. You don't have to take him there. That's it for now that I'm going to do outside of the 60. All right. And I might drop some down. Jacoby Myers belongs in this. I'm going to go kind of quick through this range, just so you guys know I'm not going to spend too much time on this range because a lot of you guys aren't drafting these guys and they're not going to stay on your bench more than a few games. I would say like the next 20 receivers that I like are all pretty similar, but let me see how fast I can go through this. Jacoby Myers probably belongs in this tier. I probably should swap these two, to be honest with you. I'm not going to, but I think if I had to guess, I think Jacoby Myers has a better year than Parker Washington. Fuck it. Okay. I gotta do what I believe in. I gotta stand on something. I think Parker Washington's down here with like Wan'Dale Robinson. This seems like a very good spot. These two are probably gonna have similar type seasons. In my opinion, Josh Downs, these 3 receivers, it wouldn't surprise me if they're all very similar. And I think I'd rather have Josh Downs than Wan'Dale. Yo, this Parker Washington thing, man. I hope I'm not this off on Parker Washington. I hope I'm not this far off on Parker. I know I'm going to be wrong. Maybe I'm going to be wrong. I hope I'm not that wrong. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Jalen Naylor, I think he plays well in Clint Kubiak's system. You know, it's obviously going to be Brock Bowers as the wide receiver 1, but there's enough there to support Jalen Naylor having a strong season. There's enough to support him having a good year. And you don't have to draft Jalen Naylor this high, but to get a number 1, I love getting number 1 receivers on teams. If they're strong enough to start for an NFL team, they're good enough to roster on our teams, okay? And I think there's some 2s that provide, like Higgins provides some value, Shakir provides some value, Dobbs provides some value. I think Jalen Coker, Rashid Shaheed, they provide some value. Right? But I'm just not sure what the upside is for him. That's kind of the reason why I have these guys here. The upside also isn't there. We know the floor is there, but it's going to be tough, right? You either got Kirk coming in there for Jalen Naylor, or you have Fernando Mendoza at some point. He'll be looming. Right now, I think he deserves to be a little bit higher than he's going. I got him 25 spots higher, that's heavy. When you come down here, you get strong number 2s and good offenses. You have Jaden Higgins, Khalil Shakir, Romeo Dobbs. You got I think Jalen Coker proved that he belongs on rosters. I'm just not sure that I want to roster him at the level he's going right now. Rashid Shaheed, same thing. Great year last year. Got the bag this offseason. More of a utility player, I would say. Deep ball threat and utility player. They use him in kick return games sometimes. That's why he got paid, in my opinion. You got Judy. I still think he's the number 1 in this offense. And I don't think, like, Casey Concepcion is going super early. Denzel Boston's going super early. And then Jerry Judy's going outside of top 70 receivers. That really doesn't make sense to me in best ball, but I'll take Jerry Judy at some point. And if Deshaun plays, I think we're looking a lot better. I'm going to leave all these Cleveland receivers right next to each other. I'm going to leave the 3 Cleveland receivers right next to each other. I believe Jerry Judy's the one. And I think if you get any one of these guys outside of top 55, you're okay. Concepcion's going to be the slot guy, volume. Denzel Boston, big body on the outside. And then Jerry Judy. And so I don't think it's fair to put Jerry Judy so far down. I think it's a good spot for all these Cleveland receivers. If one of them pans out, you're good. It's just, I think it's going to be a little bit more of a crapshoot than people think. Targets are yet to be dispersed. Jerry Judy's the most veteran presence in there. And he's talented. Let's not forget, Jerry Jeudy is not too far removed from being a top 20 receiver in fantasy. He's not. I think Judy's the one I'd rather have, and I'd be most okay with missing with. I'm okay if you want the upside in Boston, the touchdown upside. And I think Concepcion's the last one I would have. He's the first one going off the board right now. Bateman, I think, is being disrespected. I don't know that he belongs way up here. I might have been a little quick on the trigger with him up here. And I think that's where I'm going to stop the tiers at. I'm going to go through it. Maybe I'll go through like lower end. If you guys want me to at some point. Oh, shit. Maybe I'll go. I'm going to stop it here. I'm going to stop it here if I can. Okay. I'm not going to fully rank these guys. If you guys want me to, I feel like they're all dart throws. I can go over ones that I like, don't like, but I think I'm in the receivers here. How do you guys feel about this tier? Tier 8, or tier 7, excuse me. Tier 7. You guys like that tier? Who's throwing to the Browns receivers? I think it's going to be Deshaun. Wouldn't shock me if it's Shador, but if I had to take a guess, I would say Deshaun's getting the start. Got time for a quick 12-man? Not today, not today. 27 years ago, yes, me too, though. Just turned 43 in January. We're getting old. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. 43, bro. I'll turn 41 this year. I never thought I'd see 40, bro. Chilling and grilling. Let's get it. All right. It's a dice roll. Yeah, I feel like all these guys, this is where you start to get to like, I hope they can be wide receiver 3s. And if they belong on rosters, but I don't think they're not like must roster players. Down here is like, I think most of these guys will be on waivers at some point. Maybe like if Travis Hunter hits, you got guys where if they hit, they'll be on rosters. But I think most of these guys down here will be on waivers, off waivers, outside of like Debo and Diggs. On waivers, off waivers, on waivers, off waivers. Why is Lad so low new? I answered Lad yesterday. If you want to go back and watch the footage, it's on the YouTube, J-Hand Fantasy. And I'll probably post the Lad one because I feel like that's going to be one of the bigger question marks people have. So I'll post the Lad one, the Lad video. I'm going to clip a bunch of these up over the next week. You guys will probably see them rolling out here. Naylor got the contract, but I think this team only supports Bowers. That's fair to say, but I think Naylor got the contract for a reason. And, Kubiak, as much as Kubiak is, he'll use other receivers. Like we saw Torrey Horton have some really good games. Bobo had some decent games. We got Cooper Kupp, who was very hit or miss last year, mostly missed, but had a couple hit games. And yeah, Brock Bowers does play tight end too. So as much as he's a receiver, he still also has tight end duties. So that's why I kind of like Jalen Naylor. I think he's a little sneaky this year. Brian Thomas bounce back? Absolutely. I think Brian Thomas bounces back. Dolphins did Willis dirty. Yeah, they did him as a bridge quarterback. I think they're going to want to draft a quarterback, draft a receiver. I think they're going to try to build this thing from the ground up. Unfortunately, I think you're right, though, about Malik Willis. H.N. and friends. He's going to run for 1,200 yards. Have a good feeling on Ridley for the price. I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, watch Malik Washington, Tolbert, H.N. again, and Dulcich. 3 receivers for the Dolphins. It's tough. Tier 7 doesn't scream anybody I want. Yeah. This isn't a tier like I would want to have my receivers. And there's a lot of people that say, like, you have to go running back early. This is the reason why, is because if you're stuck with one of these guys as your wide receiver 3, I think it might be a long season for you. If you try to get like, let me get my quarterback, let me get my tight end, let me get 2 running backs, let me make sure I get running backs, and let me get 2 receivers, you're probably going to be looking at like one of these guys, your wide receiver 3. Parker Washington may even be your wide receiver 2, depending on who you're listening to. So for me, I'm trying to lock down 4 to 5 receivers before I get to tier 7. Probably 5, knowing me, guys. It's tough when you get down here. This is ugly, man. Naylor I like is like a 4 or 5. I think he provides a little upside. These guys are more like J.D. Higgins for me has a little bit of upside, right, with C.J. Stroud. A little bit of upside if the offense clicks. If C.J. Stroud is better this year, right, if he can develop a little consistency. Khalil Shakir is going to be a back-end piece in that offense. Romeo Doubs a secondary piece in that offense. Coker's a secondary piece in the offense, maybe even third if Chris Brazzell decides he wants to do anything. Shaheed's a secondary piece in the offense. Like, these are all secondary and third pieces in the offense. And I just don't want to start any of these players. None. So My goat's back, Mike. Appreciate you, bro. Haven't been paying attention to fantasy, but I want to know who to start. Listen, this is the right page to start. If you haven't followed, make sure you follow the page. I'm just going to try to answer some questions over the next 20 minutes or so. Feel free to drop your questions, guys. Let it come in rapid fire. That's the receivers. I'm not going over the rest. I guess I could do tight ends real quick. Y'all want me to do tight ends? Y'all want me to do tight ends today or a different day? I was thinking of doing tight ends a different day, but that's just a lot to cover for your boys sometimes. If you're looking for full episodes, they're on the YouTube, J-Hand Fantasy. You can find all the other rankings. Been following for over a year. Brady, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, my boy. Someone offered me Cortland Sutton and Shakir for Mekhi Lemon. What should I do? Take the Cortland Sutton side. Take the Cortland Sutton side. I think you'll be happy. Keep it for another day. Yeah, I'll do tight ends another day, bro. I'll do tight ends another day. Dobbs could be a 3 or 4 option with other wide receivers on that team. Douglas is still there. Yeah, Demario Douglas is still there. Kayshon Bouttie's still there. They use Hunter Henry a lot. And, I mean, A.J. Brown is going to get force-fed. Travion Henderson, you know what I'm saying? Travion Henderson's in the receiving game. Yeah. I like Dobbs. I think he's a good, not great player. Good, not great player. You work for Fantasy Pros? No, I don't work for Fantasy Pros. I have my own shit. Matt said, let's do it today. Nah, I'm not. I don't think I'm going to do quarter. I'm going to do tight ends a different day. Because that'll probably take me a good another 30, 45. Vouch, big vouch. Appreciate you, Mike. Appreciate you, my boy. Appreciate you. Yeah, we've been doing this for a minute, man. And I already went over quarterbacks. Like I said, you can find the quarterback rankings on here for the people watching right now. Since there's not a whole lot of people in here, I'm gonna hook y'all up. D-Loft, what's good, bro? These are the quarterback rankings. If you're looking for them, you can find the full explanation on YouTube, J-Hand Fantasy. All right, we got through the quarterbacks. We got through the running backs. I'm sure you guys got, if you weren't here for the stream, you got questions. The answers are on YouTube, J-Hand Fantasy. These are the different tiers I got. Probably the more notable name, Cam Scatterbo down there. My biggest riser, Jordan Mason. And then I think I stopped right around here. And one player I probably need to put up higher is Jonathan Brooks. It's just tough for me to put him up much higher than this. But, like, I probably have him over here. I probably have Jonathan Brooks, like, right here, at least. That's as far as I'm going to go for now. But I should have put Jonathan Brooks higher. I don't know why I didn't. And I'm really big on Jonathan Brooks this year. But, yeah, we went through running backs, and then today we went through receivers. Last pick in the first round, who should I pick? Best available player. You're going to either get Ashton Genty, Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson. One of those 4 will be there. I'm good with any one of them. And you're going to go back-to-back. If I could, if ideally, you're probably looking at Genty and Barkley. Is Monty going to be a starter? Yeah. Dave Montgomery's a starter. Is Bo Nix going to be ready for week 1? I think that's the consensus, is that he's going to be ready for week 1. Is this the year Josh Downs finishes top 24? I mean, if he finishes top, the thing sometimes in fantasy too is, say Josh Downs finishes top 24. What upside did you really get? 1,000 yards and like 6 touchdowns? You're not really getting much out of Josh Downs. It's not like he's going to become JSN. Like, that's just not what that offense is built for, you know? You already got the big body in Pierce. They use Jonathan Taylor in the red zone. What really are you expecting out of Josh Downs, you know? That's the hard part. Who to take at pick 3? Jamar Chase, Bijan, or Gibbs, whichever one didn't get taken. Is Waddle like that? I really do like Waddle. And I don't think that's crazy. Like Waddle, remember Waddle was like a top 10 receiver a few years ago, 3 years ago? He's a top 10 receiver. I think Waddle is like that. Speed's real. It's been really Tua. And then when Tyreek Hill has been injured, Waddle has been like that. I think it's easy to forget that. It's easy to forget like what Waddle really could be at times. I think he fits that offense, that Denver offense, really well. You play full PPR. Do your rankings? My rankings change a lot. We change rankings throughout the year based on information. You may hear me say I'm down on a player right now, and then we get closer to the draft, and I'm like, oh, I actually really like this player now. I'm not one to be like, I said this, and this is the way it is. We on this page, the goal isn't to be right; it's to win championships. And sometimes with new information, we have to adjust. So as I see training camp, as I watch preseason games, there's times I might be like, oh shit, I was wrong about this guy in July, but here's where I have him now. And I don't think that's the end of the world. So Lad too low. Why too low on low? Why so low on Lad? Why should it be higher on Lad? Why should I be higher on Lad? Can you see Dalton Kincaid finishing top 3 or 5? No. Not with DJ Moore there. Not with the ground game being so prevalent. Not with Josh Allen being so prevalent. It's just, it can't happen. Everybody's been sending love too on TikTok. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. But yeah, man. Anybody who hit the like button, man, it's all good. Parker Washington, top 10 after training camp. Hell nah. Hell nah. Ain't no way, man. I can't see the Colts offense repeating. What's really going to change, though, with this offense? Still have a good offensive line. Daniel Jones will be back. And I guess without Pittman, maybe it slows down a little bit. But what's really going to change with the offense? It's Jonathan Taylor, really. He's what makes the offense go. He's in a contract year. I believe in Jonathan Taylor. Should I go St. Brown or Barkley? I think you got to go St. Brown first. He's just been super consistent. I could see Barkley having another year, a great year. But I think at the draft spot, you got to go St. Brown. He's been a top 3 receiver over the last 3 seasons. Ibuka over Pickens, I'm not mad if you got him there. I don't, but I'm not mad if you got him there. Love your content, trying to win it with you this year. Let's go. Let's go. Alex, we're going to win. We're going to win. Opinion on Neighbors now that he's not on PUP. Is Neighbors going to be at camp or something? Maybe he's not on PUP, but he's going to be at camp. Is that the expectation? MPJ isn't on the Colts. That's what I just said. Didn't I say that? I said he's gone, right? I did say that, didn't I? I think I just gave a full explanation on why I still am not touching Josh Downs, even though Pittman's not there. Joe, did you catch that or not? I'm pretty sure I just said that. And we talked about the Colts offense not repeating. He's ready for camp day 1. Malik Neighbors? Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, if I see Malik Neighbors on the field healthy, I will be bumping him up. I'll bump him up. He'll probably be like closer to this range right here. I wouldn't put him in the top 10. But if Malik Neighbors is healthy week 1 and Malik Neighbors goes through training camp and participates, I'm probably going to put him up here. Garrett Wilson-esque. And he'll probably outplay my ranking. It's kind of crazy, honestly. If he's back fully healthy, he would have to be in the top 12 receivers. Have to be. So it depends on what he looks like. If he's full everything, like he might be at camp, but he might not be full participant. We got a month. So I will definitely be paying attention to Malik Neighbors a little bit more if he's there. Chemistry he had with Lawrence, hard to ignore. I agree with that. About Parker Washington. But we'll see this year. Every year is different because there was, Lawrence and Thomas didn't have that chemistry. It was like Mac Jones had it with him at the end of that year. But will this offseason help that? Are they going to make it an emphasis to get Brian Thomas the ball? There's a lot of question marks I have about Jacksonville, but I believe Brian Thomas is the guy. If you're trying to win I know the NFL's kind of turned now to more like slot oriented. It's heavier on the slot guys. I still think Brian Thomas is the guy. Genty Hampton start. I love it. I love that start. Load up at receiver. You're going to need it. Jordan Mason will be this year's Javonte. What do you mean by that? I think Jordan Mason is just going to be a good back to have. Like I have Jordan Mason pretty high in my running back rankings. I have him right here. 10 spots higher than most. Praise Jalen Waddle. I'm in a 2-man keeper, tight end premium. Should I keep Tyler Warren over Nico? Nah, keep Nico, bro. Keep Nico. I like Tyler Warren, but I don't really, and I know that's why you get rid of Pittman so you can use him more, but I don't know if I know they drafted him like super early. I'm having trouble seeing him as like the next like big thing this year. I don't know. That's not a bad thing to keep Tyler Warren in case he hits, because Nico is who he is. It's actually closer than I'm giving credit. I probably would just keep Nico. I'd have to see what the point total looks like. And what the other options were outside of the keepers, outside of Tyler Warren. That's that's actually a harder one than I thought. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought it was easy, Nico, but that's hard. Wandale over Parker, same player to me. Wandale Robinson and Parker Washington, damn near the same player to me. $12 spot could be goated. You get Jenty Hampton, then Ibuka, Ladd on the turn. There's a few receivers that go there. You can get like Terry McLaurin, goes at the turn. You can get like Jalen Waddle. You can get Evans, Devontae Adams. There's a lot of good players at the turn. 12-13. Cook, Jenty, or London. Jenty, Cook, London in that order. Thoughts on Jalen Waddle? I talked about him. I think he's going to play well in Denver. Like, we forget Bo Nix. Bo Nix plays really well at times, man. It's easy to forget, but I wasn't hating Justin. Been following for at least 3 seasons. Appreciate you, Joe. My bad. Hopefully I wasn't rude. You know, sometimes I get, bro. If you've been following for 3 seasons, you know how I get sometimes. Sometimes I'm back against the wall when I feel a comment directed at me the wrong way. I'll be like, hold on a second, dog. You know who I am? I got to remind y'all sometimes. No, it's all love, man. It's all love. That's the thing, though. If you hear, man, and you disagree with something I said, or you watch the video, like, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about, I'm all for disagreements, and I'm all for y'all coming at my neck. You feel me? Like, come for me. It's fine. It's fine. Like, if you want to get at me a little bit, we can go back and forth. I have no issue with it. You feel me? And so there's people in here who have like faded me in the past, and I see their names, and maybe one year I'm a whole fade, and then the next year people rock with me. You know, like it's funny. It's funny how that works. Can I scroll up? I was on receivers, so you get to see receivers. Why Cam so low? Wow. Hey, if you have an issue with Cam Scatterboo, tell me what you think his numbers are going to be this year, Christian. Post his numbers. These are the receivers we went over today. If you missed it, if you were here yesterday, these are the receivers we went over right here. Achane or Chase Brown? I'd probably take Chase Brown over Achane. Waddle or Flowers? I like Waddle over Flowers. Actually, I like Flowers. I like Flowers a little more than Waddle. Flowers a little more than Waddle. Jayhan the GOAT, appreciate you. Jenty may not be there at 12. That's a good point. Bro, no BTJ for me this year. Friday, yeah. I'm not mad. And glad to have you back too, Grand Santo. Glad to have you back, bro, for another year. But I'm not mad if you don't want to take Brian Thomas. The thing is, he's at such a low level, so you can get him as your wide receiver 3. Yeah, Christian, post your numbers for Cam Scatterboo. What do you think he's going to have this year, bro? What do you think his numbers are going to be? We do this every year. Last year, you guys told me the same thing about Ashton Jenty when I was like, you don't take him first round. He's not a top 5 back. And I was like, I post his numbers. The year before that, it was Marvin Harrison. When everybody told me Marvin Harrison was a first-round pick, I said, okay, post the numbers. What do you think Marvin Harrison's going to do in his rookie year? The year before that, it was Bijan Robinson, who was being taken as like a top 5 to 7 pick. Okay, what do you think Bijan's numbers are going to be? Sometimes players in our heads, we want them to be something that they're not yet. Or we saw a portion of them. We did this back in the day. Somebody was telling me Dak was going to throw. Shout out AZ, bro. It's all love at this point. But he's telling me Dak was going to throw for 6,000 yards and 55 touchdowns. I'm like, okay, well, what's the process to get there? Right? And so when you tell me something along the lines of like, this player is too low or this player is too high, remember that they're just in a tier. Right? So I'll go back. Let me go to Scatterboo for a minute. Let me go to Cam Scatterboo for a minute. He's in a tier. Okay? I have him tiered with David Montgomery, Jadarian Price, Ramondre Stevenson. What numbers do you think that Cam Scatterboo is going to get? 6,000 yards. At some point, me and him got to revisit that. Yeah, you say why so low? If David Montgomery was 800 and 12 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns, would that shock you? If Cam Scatterbo was 810 touchdowns, would that shock you? No. These two are very similar to me. I probably need to move Price ahead of David Montgomery. When Cam was the starter, he averaged 13 points a game. Congratulations. You can keep that 13 points. I think all of these guys offer more upside. All of them do. I can honestly see Cam going for 900 yards, 1,800-ish receiving, and 14 tutties. He's like Derrick Henry without the receiving work and without the speed. No speed, no receiving work, and less touchdowns on a worse offense. What the hell happened to Bucky? Yeah, he's got competition now. Gainwell's there. Gainwell played good too. I can see Scat having like 600-700 yards, but then higher than expected touchdowns. If he had 700 yards and like 11 touchdowns, okay, fine. Good for you. I'll let you take the chance on Cam Scatterbo, not me. We've had a word on this stage for players like Cam Scatterbo before. Y'all told me Dameon Pierce was him after the angry run. And I told y'all, be very careful. I actually messed up and thought Zamir White was going to have an opportunity one year. And that didn't work out. Isaiah Pacheco, remember after he was good and everybody told me he was good? We got a name for guys like that. Mike Davis. Y'all remember Mike Davis when he went to Atlanta? And I was like, why the hell are we drafting Mike Davis in the 4th, 5th round? There's a word for guys like that. Be very careful with the Cam Scatterbo type running back in fantasy. Just be very careful. I get it. It's fun to watch. Bowling ball, knocking people over. Just be very careful. Jelani with it right there. Jelani with the name right there. Uh-oh. The tryhards. The tryhards. Diego got it on this one. The tryhards. Listen, I don't know. If you believe in Cam, I mean, go ahead and take him as your RB1 or RB2, bro. I'm staying far away from Cam Scatterbo. Just know that. No. I'm not going to continue to disrespect. But just know he's not a top 25 back. He's not a top 25 back. You have 34 receivers better than Cortland Sutton? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. He's the number 2 in the offense now. Number 2 in the offense. Would Tyler Shough be a great bench quarterback? Absolutely. I think Tyler Shough is the perfect type of quarterback you have on your bench for the upside. Judkins, Montgomery, and Price, I'll take them all as RB2 all day. Exactly. Over Cam Scatterbo. Easily. 5 games, 5 tutties, 400 yards. 900 doesn't seem insane. He just needs to stay healthy. Okay, he had 3 touchdowns in one game, which doesn't happen very often, but fine. Say he kept up that pace, and you're obviously being very crafty with your message because you're forgetting the first game he played and the 7. He played 7 games last year. So you could try to put together, this is what I'm talking about, skewing the numbers. Cam Scatterbo played, was it 7 or 8 games last year? Skewing the numbers does not help your argument. Let's go break it down. Let's break it down. You're skewing the numbers, my man. Don't do that. You can't skew it only to fit your benefit. If he would have played these games, no, you can't do that. He got hurt in the game because of the way he plays. He got hurt because of that. Hold on. I'm gonna pull up the numbers. Just because you said in 5 games. Cam Scatterbo played more than 5 games, didn't he? Am I about to pull your card real quick? Or am I wrong? If I'm wrong, I'll own it. Oh, no. You said in 5 games. Cam Scatterbo played 8 games. 8 games. I don't want to hear it. He got hurt for legal tackle. You're doing it. What other players are we doing that for? In these games that I handpicked, you just left out 3 games. You literally left out 3 games. You can't just be like, oh, we had 500 yards in 400 yards in 5 games. No, he had 400 yards in 8 games. You're trying to take out the game where he had 12 yards, another game where he had -3 yards. You're trying to take those out and you can't. You can't. And besides, that was also 6 games, not 5. He had 400 yards in 6 games. We gotta keep it. Hey, we gotta keep the stats legit. If you're gonna come here, there's other pages you might be able to get away with that shit, but not me. Not me. Not me, man. Tracy's a still solid running back. Yeah, the last few games of the year, he played well too. Thoughts on Tootin? I talked about Tootin last year. I'm excited about Tootin. I talked on Tootin yesterday. Yesterday, I talked about Tootin, or is it 2 days ago? I like Tootin. I actually got a post coming out about Tootin. Probably today. Dang, you skip me, Matt. What I miss, bro? What's more valuable this year? 2 top receivers or 2 top running backs, one each? I never subscribe to position. Never subscribe to position. Get the talent. Get the talent. If you can get 2 elite running backs, that's going to carry more often than 2 elite receivers, just most of the time. But the right receivers in the right year is going to carry 2. So Adam was good. Was good. To be fair, he was a backup to start the year. That's fine. He might have a game where he gets hurt again. He got hurt from a legal tackle. I answered that one. Listen, as a rookie, you got it right, but we take into account he had to take over Tracy. That's fine. If you believe in him, go ahead. Like, I have no issue. If you have Cam Scatterbo different than I do, right? If you have him in this tier, I have no issue with it. Me personally, I think he's going to burn a lot of teams. Interested in affiliating for Rotobot? No, I'm good. Thanks, though. I'm not interested in really affiliating for anybody. Unless they want to pay me to do videos, I'm not interested in codes. And use the code JHAN. Nah, not anymore, bro. I did that before in the past. Appreciate you asking, though. Are you fading neighbors? Depends. As of right now, yes. In a couple weeks, I might change a little bit. Every game above 50% snap share, he dropped at least 13. Go, like I said, if you love Scatterbo and he just has to be on your team, go ahead. But I'm very sure I could probably pick 5 games out of these guys and find the exact same thing. I almost guarantee. I could go outside of price, obviously, as a rookie. I could go cherry pick 5 games at the beginning of the year, maybe, or at the end of the year with all these backs and do the exact same thing. Imagine what I could do with Ramondre Stevenson or Jaylen Warren last year, who had a nice stretch. There's players who have a nice stretch of games. He's also a rookie. Teams didn't have as much footage of him. What happens after teams started addressing that? Teams knew how to play him a little bit more. Just be careful. Be careful with Scatterbo. That's all I'm saying. It's not that I don't think he could be 800 yards, 10 touchdowns, 1,000 yards, even 10 touchdowns. It's just I'm not betting on it. Did you ever do the research for Zamir and Tootin? I want to hear your thoughts. I have not done that yet. I have not. But I will. I will definitely look into that a little bit more if he's more Zamir White. As of now, the pass catching chops for Tootin, Zamir White wasn't a pass catcher really. The pass catching kind of makes things different. Because I should have thought Zamir White was more like Alexander Madison. And to be honest, that's kind of what Scatterbo reminds me of. And I think I missed that with Zamir White. That was the one thing I missed with Zamir White, is the pass catching chops too, as that kind of back. If you're a back that's not like a 5 yard per carry, 4.5 to 5 yard per carry back in fantasy, and you're not a high draft pick, I know Scatterbo was the 3rd round pick, but if you're not a first round, 2nd round draft pick capital running back, and you don't catch the football, you're probably going to be short lived. It's more often than not. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but it's more often than not, you're not going to last. Some of the exceptions to the rule, if you really go here, Bijan, 1st round pick. Gibbs, 1st round pick. McCaffrey, 1st round pick. Taylor, 2nd round pick. Jency, 1st round pick. Barkley, 1st round pick. Cook, 2nd round pick. Hampton, 2nd round pick. Henry, 2nd round pick. Chase Brown is an outlier. He catches the football. Kenneth Walker, 2nd round pick. Devon Achane, 3rd round pick. Catches the football. Breece Hall, 2nd round pick. Kyron, 6th round pick. He's like an anomaly. What happens with Kyron really don't happen very often. Jeremiah Love, 1st round pick. Javonte Williams, 2nd round pick. Josh Jacobs was 2nd round pick or 1st round pick. Somebody let me know. ETN first round pick, DeAndre Swift second round pick, Travion Henderson second round pick, Quinshon Judkins second round pick, Baishal Tootin. Is it third round pick, fourth round pick, fifth round pick? I can't remember what Tootin. I know he was late. I know he was Josh Jacobs second round pick, yeah. Bucky Irving starting to fall a little bit, right? He was, what was Bucky Irving, like a sixth round pick? A lot of times draft capital matters for like the longevity of elite running backs. A lot of times. I'm not saying every time. I gave you some examples. But that's where the Baishal Tootin thing starts to become a little concerning. I think he'll have a great year this year. Do I think he's a mainstay in lineups for the next 5 years? No. Absolutely not. But I do think Baishal Tootin is more Chase Brown than he is like Zamir White. Does that make sense? You feel me? Like, I feel like when you have the pass catching chops, even if you're not, like, you can do it all. You can do it all. Now, and if the team believes in you, okay, Austin Eckler, Chase Brown, Baishal Tootin. That's kind of what I think. I think he's more Bucky Irving, Chase Brown than he is like complete flop. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But I think in that offense this year, in the offense, I like Tootin. Clearly you found a hot topic for content post videos on Scatterbo. I guess, huh? I guess. What's Breece's ceiling to you? Top 10-ish. I think he's a good target at ADP. I think he's a good target. I think he's more Breece's ceiling is like up here in the top 10 somewhere. I don't think he's top 5, but I think he's like up here. That's the ceiling. Cohen makes some RBs pop. Yep. Tootin was a 4th round pick. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. P was good, bro. What's good, P? Why is the 4th pick the best? I feel like the 4th is ass because you don't get the top 3 guys. You don't get Chase, Bijan, or Gibbs. And then you have to wait all the way around and see who's left over out of all those running backs and like Drake London, AJ Brown, Bowers. You get the leftovers. I don't really like that pick. Thoughts on AJ Brown this year? I talked about that yesterday. I think AJ Brown's going to be elite. Like I said, if you're looking for more details on every single player, I talked about all the quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers so far. Head over to the J-Hand Fantasy YouTube page. Make sure you drop a sub over there and watch the videos on the live tab. I'll be crafting these out in individual videos as well so you can watch them. But listen, y'all, I got to get ready to go. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace out.